Hello there. Today I'm gonna review 15 progressive rock albums. That's right, 15. 10, 15. That's right. Um, let's just get straight into this. They are all progressive rock albums, so this gotta be interesting. Just pointing out, I'm not gonna record the whole list today because I have all the albums I intend to do this video. All of them are noted down. I know exactly what albums I'm gonna listen to. But today, well, for you it's gonna be the 15 albums all in one video. But today I'm gonna review just 3 of them. After I listen to the next 3 or so, I'm gonna record them. So that's how I'm gonna make this video. So let's get straight into the first one. I keep on till all enough to say. Alright, the first album, this one, Ambrosia, by the band Ambrosia. I'm just gonna point out this album artwork. I love this artwork so much. It really progressive rock albums that have a really weird psychedelic cover like this, those are my favorite ones. I think that the art represents music so well, and this one, it's a shame that I think for the worldwide release of the album, they changed the cover to one with just the band members, which I honestly think it's really boring because I really like this artwork. But anyway, let's talk about the music. That's what matters. Overall, I like all the songs in this. Nice, very nice. Time waits for no one. Holding on to yesterday. My voice did something weird there. World Leave Me Alone, I think is one of the least interesting ones. Lover Arrive also. But the last ones, Mama Frog, Drink of Water, so weird, so progressive. I'm aware that for their latter albums they really abandoned progressive rock and just went a pop direction, which is disappointing because those last 2 songs I really like them, and the other ones, Make Us All Aware, Holding On to Yesterday, nice, very nice, really good songs. Classic 70s progressive rock. Really miss these days as if I were there. So let's just get to the next album. The next album up on this list is Armageddon by the band Armageddon. So I'm just gonna say this album was released on May 1975. And man, this here is heavy metal. This is proto metal. I think it was released around the same time Black Sabbath's debut. So just listen to the song Buzzard and Bask in the White of the Sun, I think. White of the Sun? Of the Midnight Sun. Just listen to the guitars. Overall in this whole album the guitars are amazing. I love the guitars. The song Buzzard, really good. Silver Tightrope, really good. Paths and Planes and Future Gains, is that the title of the song? And yes, that's right. Also another amazing song, Last and Before, amazing song. Basking in the White of the Midnight Sun, amazing song. All of the songs here are so good. This, as I said, is like the mixture of progressive rock with heavy metal. I find this similar to Iron Maiden actually. Iron Maiden is more fleshed out. They have way better sound quality and they came out 5 years after this. But in my opinion, this here is proto metal. Just listen to this and you're gonna understand what I'm trying to say here. And the last thing I have to say is this artwork. I love it. It has the 4 band members, which normally I really hate. I really think album covers with just the band members are really boring, but they're in this landscape filled with burnt trees and debris, rubble, There's some smoke in the horizon, the sky is red, Armageddon on the top. I really like this artwork, you know, Armageddon, the end of times and all of that. Really good album. Let's get to the next one. Alright, for today, the last album I'm gonna review. The video will continue, of course. There is still 12 other albums, but for today, this is the last album, In Deep by the band Argent. So I think Kurt Cobain was a little inspired by this album, just because of the artwork and overall the music. It gives me some vibes of Nevermind. You know, this album cover, just imagine a baby. Just imagine a baby in this album cover. I really like this art, really good. So you probably heard about the song God Gave Rock and Roll to You, if you're a progressive rock fan anyway. This song, really good, really good. Then we have the two-parter, It's Only Money, part 1, part 2. I think part 2 is the better one. I like it more than the first one, but those two songs they're really good. Losing Hold, again, good song, I like it. It's really interesting. Be Glad, also another good song. 8 minutes long. How I like long progressive rock songs. They're really amazing. Then we have Be Glad, Christmas for the Free. Actually, this song is the second most played song from this album. It's the only song from this album I don't like. It's a Christmas song, and it's like thrown randomly in the middle of this progressive rock album. I really don't like that. So this is the only song I don't like from this. We have Candles on the River and Rosie. Rosie, not a bad song. I just think Candles on the River is way more interesting. For me, they could have ended the album there. I wouldn't miss Rosie at all. But that's the album. Man, it's so amazing how progressive rock can go from something like Ambrosia, really accessible, really fun, to something like Armageddon, really heavy, distorted guitars everywhere, to something so how should I describe this album? Something that feels like it should have been released in the 90s. I'm just gonna say that. As I said, this album gives me Nevermind vibes, and amazing album, really good. So I'm gonna get to the next album. I have no idea what that album will be. I just have my list here. For you, it's gonna be just the normal video. For me, it's probably a week in the future. So let's go to the next item in this album, in this list, in this video. Hey, the next album on our list is L'isola di Niente by Premiata, Forneria, Marconi. So it's been, I think, a week or 2 weeks since I recorded the first part of this video. Interesting to think there's still 3 parts of this that I have to record, because I'm gonna review 3 albums by 3 albums. But anyway, this one here, Italian progressive rock, amazing. Look at this cover. I really like this little island in the middle, the green colors and just the font overall. I just like this whole artwork. Now let's talk about the album itself. It's very short, actually, just 35 minutes. It has the songs L'isola di Niente, Is My Face on Straight, La Luna Nuova. I don't speak Italian. I speak Spanish, alright? La Luna Nueva. I think that's how you would say that, but Dolcissima Maria Via Lumiere. I think my nose is acting weird, so sorry about that. But overall, all the songs I really like them, but I just think this album is a bit weaker than other progressive rock albums that I've been listening to. Am I recording this? Yes, I'm recording. Alright. So I just think this album is a bit weaker than all the other ones I've reviewed this far, and that I'm gonna review the next two ones. So I think from everything I've listened to so far, this is the weakest album. So yeah, not a bad album, but not that great. So let's get to the next one on this list. Alright, next up we have Konom by the band Konom. Look at this. Man, I love the artwork so much. I think this... wait, let me see the other albums that I intend on reviewing. Yeah, this album here has the best artwork out of all the albums I'm gonna review this video, so this is the best one. Look at this, just great. I really like the sort of pink, purple, darker pink colors. Magenta is my favorite color, so any color on the purple spectrum is gonna be one of my favorites. So this here, look at this artwork, amazing. The font is really good. Let's talk about what matters, the songs. There's no bad song, there's no bad song, there's no bad section on this album. I think this actually might be the best album out of this list. Fireworker, Weltschmerz, Lost. This one just might be the best album of this list. Just being honest here, I think it might be, but well, we still have another 9 albums to review, so let's see if I change my opinion, listen to them. So the songs, A Welcome Change, the longest one, if you don't consider the last 5 songs a single one, because they're all part of the same epic. So we start with A Welcome Change. Good, such a good song. Rotunda, amazing song. As the Waters Rise, amazing song. The Great Harvest one, amazing song. The Great Harvest 2, let me just read the extended titles actually. So we have at the end the 5-parter The Great Harvest. There's obviously, no actually not 5, yeah, 5 parts. The first one is Epiphany, Dilate My World, Mutating Light, Reflections, and Headless Breath. Or Heedless Breath, I have no idea what a heed is. But well, man, I'm considering categorizing this album here as a 10 out of 10. Should I? I think a 9.5 out of 10. If you don't understand what I'm saying, the only albums, after I make this whole review series, as I explained a few videos back, I have a little spreadsheet on Excel with all the albums and information such as release date, number of songs, genres and such, and I'm only leaving saved on my Spotify the albums that I consider 10 out of 10s. Should I consider this album a 10 out of 10 because it's so good? And consequently, those are the albums that I will come back in the future, and the others I won't. So should I consider this a 10 out of 10? Should I? Nah, 9 out of 5, 9.5 out of 10. This album is really great, but I don't think there's anything that makes it stand out from other progressive rock albums. I don't think so. I'm not saying that this is bad, but it could have been way more amazing. I hope this band release a new album. This is also, I believe, by far the most recent album, February 26, 2021. Maybe there's one other album in here called A Lot of Lost Illusion that might be more recent than this, but we're gonna see when I get to that album. So, if you wanna listen to modern progressive rock with that classic feel, just listen to this one, really good. Let's go to the next album.
But how can there possibly be no more room up there for me? Here I am in limbo.
Hey, Unfolded Like Starcase. This is the next album. I'm gonna say, this one, the first time I listened to this, I absolutely hated it. That's right, that's true. I did not like this album at all. But I gave it more and more listens, and with time, with patience, I started to really like this album. But I have a few criticisms, so let's get into them. Just before, this artwork, not great, but I like this. I think it's really interesting. And it was made by the band Discipline, and we have only 5 songs in this one. You know, a 1 hour and 4 minute long album, only 5 songs. That's what I like. Canto 4, Limbo, Crutches, Into the Dream, Before the Storm Part 1, and Before the Storm Part 2. I'm gonna say my favorite song would be Canto 4, Limbo. Just that part when he says, how can there possibly be no more room up there for me? That's my favorite part out of this whole album. And I think the latter songs, Into the Dream, Before the Storm, both parts, I think that's the weakest part from this album. I think the really strong point is the first song. The second song, maybe Into the Dream. I don't find Into the Dream that interesting. Why is the light acting so weird? Alright. So, yeah, I think the problem is the second side. When we get into the dream and everything after that, it's not bad, but I think it really is not as good as the first 2 songs. So that's my criticism of this album here. But overall, good, really good. This was released 6 years before I was even born, so that's some time ago. Or maybe actually 7, 6 years, maybe between 6 and 7 years. So, man, I'm not that old, am I? Well, let's get to the next album. The next album up this list is The Good Earth by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. I think this is actually a solo album. I think the guy played the whole thing, but I'm not sure. Overall, this album, I think it's a good 70s prog album, but it's not one of my favorites. I think a lot of these other albums are way better than this one. Not that this one is bad. As I said, this is a great 70s prog album. The album artwork, I like the album artwork. I think it represents music really well. It doesn't go too far into a direction I don't like, but it also has enough content in the artwork that it represents the music really well. So we have a few songs in this. Give Me the Good Earth, the longest song in this album, is 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and it's also, no, it's not the most listened one. There's another one with more plays. We have a launching place, I'll Be Gone, Earth M, Sky High, Be Not Too Hard, and Earth M Part 2. So all of these songs, and also a few bonus single edit versions of some songs here. I overall think this album is really good. If you want to listen to something from the 70s, if you want to listen to something really fun, really happy music, listen to this album. This album is really happy. This album makes me wanna walk in the forests or go camping, something like that, appreciate nature. And just, I think my favorite song, maybe I'll Be Gone, maybe Earth Hymn, maybe Give Me the Good Earth. The songs in here are really good. There's also Be Not Too Hard, really good song too. Launching Place, I think, is the most memorable one. I'm probably gonna use a part from this song when I show the artwork and before I start talking about it. So, yeah, this album, really good. Listen to it, it's from the 70s, classic. Let's go to the next one. Man, this one, of Lost Illusion by Feeling of Presence, This is actually the most recent album from this list. Probably the one before that, Konom. I talked about the Good Earth before this one. I probably made a little bridge after I talked about Konom, how I was going to talk about the most recent album, a lot of these. But that was another day. It's been a few days since I recorded that video. Now it's this video, so that part of the video anyway. So this is the most recent album, and also I think the one I like the most. I like this better than Konom, or do I? The two of them are really good. I think the two of them are really packed together. They're really modern, but still have that 70s prog feeling. So this artwork, I think it represents music really, really well. Really good job for whoever did this artwork. This album is not that long, it's just 38 minutes. All the songs in this, I love all the songs in this. A Weird Form of Darkness, Room Number 105 of Lost Illusion, Fluorescent Detail, Hollow Innocence, and Venus Transit. Beginning to end, there's no bad song in this album. There's no bad section in any of these songs in this album. I think they are all very good lengths. Actually, I would have preferred if this album had one more song, maybe a little bit longer, 10-15 minutes of length for one more song. That would have been really nice, and I would have considered this one of the best albums I've ever listened. But it could have been better, and for that reason I don't think it's one of the best albums I've ever listened. But it almost got there, of how good this album just is. So go give a listen to this one too. It's very recent, it's very good. Instrumental, there's no lyrics in this album, so go check it, go check it out. So let's go to the next album. UK by the band UK. So this is a supergroup. I think you have what's his name? Greg Lake. I think it's he the one who does the vocals. I think he's the one that does the vocals for early King Crimson and then Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And well, I think he's the one who's singing in this. So this album, really good, but not really one of my favorites. Released towards the end of the decade for 1970. This album here, I think the highlight is the first two songs, In the Dead of Night, By the Light of Day, really good songs. We have also, the other songs are really good too. Presto Vivas and Reprise, 30 Years, Alaska, Time to Kill, Nevermore, Mental Medication. All of these songs, I really like them. Just overall, this album has been really consistent in quality. I just think In the Dead of Night and By the Light of Day are my favorite songs from this album, but overall, you should listen to this one. Just give this album at least one shot. You're not gonna get disappointed if you're liking progressive rock. So yeah, I know UK has released another album, and I believe it is here on Spotify, Danger Money. It has a song with 12 minutes of length. That's really interesting, actually. You know, that's really interesting. Maybe someday I'm gonna listen to Danger Money, but I don't think so. So whatever, let's get to the next album. I believe we'll have 6 more albums to review this video. So until the next time I record the next part of this video, let's go. The next one up our list is Lady Lake by Gnidrolog. I don't know how you really pronounce this. So this album, another classic album from the 70s. Let me just increase the brightness. Another classic album from the 70s. This artwork here, I really love this artwork. And overall the songs, I think they're good. They're not perfect, they're not amazing, but they're good by what they are. I Could Never Be a Soldier, Ship. I think these two are the most fun songs. Then we have Dog with No Collar, Lady Lake, Same Dreams, Social Embarrassment, and Baby Move On. I'm gonna... Sorry about that. So I think my two favorite songs would be I Could Never Be a Soldier and Ship. My two least favorite songs I think would be A Dog with No Collar and Same Dreams, not because they're bad, but because they're the least fun from this album. So overall I think this is a good album if you want to listen to some classic underground prog from the 70s. Go on, listen to this album. It's really good, and you know the artwork is really nice too. So give this one a try. Let's go to the next one. Next up we have Weltschmerz by Fish. So yeah, let's talk about this album. I don't understand what the hell is going on. Like, this doesn't fit the music at all, unless the title track, which is the last song on this album, has something to do with the cover. I haven't looked at the lyrics, but maybe it's something like that. The song is connected to this album cover by the lyrics, by the story, whatever. But overall, this artwork doesn't fit the album at all. You know, it's like the album cover is pointing towards one direction and the album goes another. So yeah, whatever, weird. It's a good artwork though. So Weltschmerz, this is the last album by this guy Fish. I believe he's the vocalist of Marillion, or was the vocalist of Marillion. I'm not sure, I haven't listened to Marillion yet. So let's talk about the songs. This album is 1 hour and 24 minutes long. It has 10 songs, and let's talk about them now. Grace of God and Man with a Stick, I think they are my favorite songs. Other than them, This Party Is Over, Garden of Remembrance, and Rose of Damascus are my other favorite songs. The rest of the songs in here aren't bad, they're just, well, not as good as those 5 ones I just named. So Grace of God, 8 minutes, amazing opening track. I think this really is my favorite. Man with a Stick, also really fun song. I really had a nice time with this. Walking on Eggshells, I didn't really like the song. Is this the least listened song? No, it's not. Well, This Party Is Over, really fun song, I really like this one. Rose of Damascus, I think this is the longest song. Yeah, 16 minutes basically. Longest song in here, really fun, proggy, peace, classic. Really like long music. Garden of Remembrance, emotional, sea song. The Trondheim Waltz, something with Trondheim. The Trondheim Waltz. I think that's how you pronounce it. I need to study more German. Little Man, What Now? Waverly Steps, End of the Line, and Weltschmerz. Those are all the songs. I want to say the problem with this album is that there's too much. This album has 10 songs. It's 1 hour and 24 minutes. I believe I said this already, but the perfect album length for me is between 35 minutes and 1 hour. That's the length where I prefer to listen to music. I think any album inside that length is gonna be very much better than anything shorter or longer than that, and I think that's precisely the case with this album. If they were to remove Man with a Stick, Little Man, What Now, Waverly Steps, you would cut the exceeding 24 minutes and a little more from the total length of this album. And honestly, without these 3 songs, maybe this album would have become one of my favorites ever, but there's just too much. too much. That's the problem. I think this is the first album that I criticize for having too much. So this is the case. Amazing. Speaker box love below, 40 songs, 2 minutes long. Perfect album, with the exception of some interludes and such. This one, prog rock, 1 hour 24, 10 songs. There's too much music in it. What do you mean? That's right. Whatever. It's my opinion. I think there's too much in this album. That's why I don't really like this one as much as I would have if it had less music. So let's get to the next one. Next up we have, definitely this time, it's definitely my favorite album out of all these 15 albums. I know we've been through that, but I listened to this one now. This one is my favorite for sure. Fireworker by Gazpacho. So this, from what I read on the internet, it's a mixture of art rock with progressive rock, neo, more modern progressive rock or whatever, and it has 5 songs. It's 50. It's been hard to speak today. 50 minutes long, 25 seconds. Released in 2020, September 18th, 2020. I think I was still at school. Yeah, second year. That's awful. I hate school. Whatever. So this album, let's first talk about the artwork. Amazing artwork, really like it. The songs now, that's what matters. Space Cowboy, 20 minutes basically. My favorite song out of this. Very much. I love this song so much. Every song in this album is perfect as it is. Hourglass, Fireworker, Antique, and Sapien. I think my favorite ones would be, in order, Space Cowboy, Sapien, Antique, Fireworker, and in the last place, Hourglass. But still, Hourglass still is a great song. I won't tackle into what the album talks about or the meaning of every song or everything that happened in every song. I just think that's not how I would like to review music. I just like to talk about the overall experience and how I feel about the music, other than the intricacies, whatever, other than details of every song, of every second, of every instrument. And also because I don't understand much of musical instrumentation and such, I hope nobody interrupted me. So yeah, Fireworker, this here is one of the best albums I've ever listened, for sure. And just listen to it, it's amazing. The concept also, if you want to read about it on the internet, it's a great concept, I really like it. And it's very modern too, September 18th, 2020. To know that such a recent album is so good, like you could literally compare this to Animals by Pink Floyd, 5 songs. The ones on the middle of the album are a bit actually is opposite in Animals. The middle songs are the longer ones, and the first and the last one are the shorter ones. This one is the opposite. The first and the last songs are the longest, and the middle songs are the shorter. So yeah, it's like the mirror of Animals, but whatever. Fun album, listen to it, one of the best I've ever listened. I'll definitely go back to this many times. Let's go to the last album from today, and there's only 2 other missing that I need to review, and then release this video of the 15 albums I've reviewed so far. So let's get to the next one. Alright, now we have Tubular Bells. Dun dun! Really fun song. Man, this album is one of the best of all time, really. when I first started to listen to this, I was like, alright, I know it's a very popular album among the prog rock community. Probably I won't like it that much, but whatever. I really loved this album. Tubular Bells. Dun dun. Was released in '73 by Mike Oldfield, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably gonna say something wrong right now, but I think he was only 17 at the moment, and I believe he recorded the whole album and did the entire production part of the album all by himself. I think, I'm not sure, probably I'm wrong, but whatever. The man was a genius. So this album, I'm counting the Spotify version. I believe the original one only had 2 songs. The Spotify has 4 songs. So let's talk about the songs. Tubular Bells Part 1. I think this is my favorite one of them too. Although Part 2 is also amazing. And well, talking about Part 2, Tubular Bells Part 2 is like one big song but divided into. I know that the vinyls have different sides, alright? And so Part 1 is on one side and Part 2 is on the other. I know about that. I'm not a Gen Z dumb kid. I'm smarter than most. So yeah, those 2 songs really good. Then we have Mike Oldfield's single theme from Tubular Bells and Sailor's Hornpipe Viv Stanshall version. I'm gonna say these 2 bonus songs, I really like them. They're really fun. They're very short, just 3 minutes, 2 minutes, not that long. But I really like them. I thought they were really fun songs to close us off. And just overall, Tubular Bells, both parts, I think they're amazing. They're really good. There's no boring moment. The music changes as it goes, but at the same time, you don't feel like you're listening to something else completely. A case that could happen with longer songs, that you listen to one part and then you get to the other and it's like it doesn't really make sense why this is all just one song, because the thing keeps on changing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, at least for me, I never feel like that. I never feel like I'm listening to something else. But well, whatever. Fun album. Now we have 2 more to review. Let's go to the next one, which will be recorded in another day. So let's see you then. Hello there. So, I finally listened to the last 2 albums out of all of these 15 albums in total. And I think it's been months or 2 months since I started recording this one video and listened to all of these 15 albums. I think the very beginning of this video I'll have no hair and no project of a beard, but whatever. Now the next album is Prehensile Tales by Pattern Seeking Animals. This album was released in 2020. Basically, I believe the year I started listening to progressive rock, because I think it was in this year that... Was it in this year or the next one that the album Virus by Haken came out? I think it was in this year or 2021. One of those 2. Am I recording or streaming this? Alright, I'm recording. Nice. So, the artwork, it's a bit weird. There's some gorillas, harambes, with some structures on their backs. It's a bit strange. So the songs in this: Raining Hard in Heaven, Hear My Autumn, Elegant Vampires, Why Don't We Run, Lifeboat, and Soon But Not Today. I think the songs here, I think the song I like the least in this is Soon But Not Today. I think it's a weak closing song for this album. Lifeboat's an interesting song, I like that song. Why Don't We Run might be my favorite song out of this album, probably. I don't remember much of this anyway. I think this album overall was really forgettable, to be honest, and this is why I think if you're interested in progressive rock, I wouldn't recommend this one to you. Only if you're like a die-hard fans of the people that made this album here. Pattern Seeking Animals. I believe they're from. I believe the members from this band are also the members from the band The Tangent, which is another band that releases a lot of very long progressive rock albums and such. And I haven't listened to this band yet, but who knows, maybe someday. They're on my list anyway, so yeah, only if you're die-hard fans of that band, I think you're going to enjoy this. I never listened to that one, so whatever, I don't know what I'm talking about here. But that's this album, I think overall, not bad, but very forgettable and not really that interesting. So let's get to the last album from this review, from these 15 albums, and the last one is one that I really enjoyed. Not as much as my top tier Fireworker and Konom and Of Lost Illusion, but an album that I would highly recommend for you. So let's go to the next one. Alright, the last album I'm gonna review in this video is the album Todd Rundgren's Utopia by the band Utopia. So, look at this album cover, it's a bit weird. I don't think it's that great nor bad, but I think it represents music really well. We start with Utopia theme, 14 minutes long, really fun opening track. I really enjoyed this song. Freak Parade. When I first started listening to the song, I thought it was a bit offensive, but I haven't read the lyrics and I don't know what the song is about. But the more and more I listen to this album, I think I listened to it about 10 to 15 times, around that amount, and the more and more I listened to this song, I enjoyed it. The song here only grew. Yeah, I'm making burgers here. Only grew more in me the more I listened to it. Freedom Fighters, the shortest song, 4 minutes. Freak Parade is 10, by the way. So Freedom Fighters, just 4 minutes. I think it's the most forgettable one from this album. It's the shortest one, so whatever. And The Icon, I really like The Icon, my favorite song from this album. 30 minutes, that's right, 30 minutes. Very long. I really enjoyed this song. I know Utopia has released a lot more albums. There is one called Raw that I believe is their most popular album in the progressive rock community. But will I ever listen to this? Probably not. I think I'll remove the album artwork from the screen now, because I'm the center of the video. Look how pretty I am. I'm really hot. So I think they released an album. No, that's a live album. They released many albums, such as POV. That's an album. Yeah, that's an album. Oblivion, Utopia, Swing, The Thing, The Face of Music. But all of these albums are more shifted towards the should I say pop rock direction, from what I watched on other people's reviews. The two albums that are really progressive and such are Todd Rundgren's Utopia, the debut, and Raw. I think that's their second or third album. But I won't ever listen to Raw. Whatever, I don't care. I didn't enjoy this band enough to get into their discography. So overall, I'm gonna look at the list of all of these albums. Definitely Fireworker was my favorite. Loved that album. If I were to recommend you some of these 15 albums to listen. Wow, that's a lot. I would recommend to you Armageddon, In Deep, Armageddon by Armageddon, In Deep by Argent. I'd recommend Unfolded Like Starcase by Discipline. I would definitely recommend Konom by the band Konom, amazing debut. I would also recommend Fireworker by Gazpacho, and Lost Illusion by Feeling of Presence. The other albums in here, as I said and forgot what I said because it's been days since I recorded those parts of the video, they're overall really good. I believe the album I like the least out of this list, by what I'm seeing here, is Lady Lake. Is the one I placed with the lowest grade. But that's that. That's the 15 albums. Hope you all enjoyed this amazing and technical and definite list about 15 progressive rock albums, because my opinion is the one that matters the most and yours doesn't, and yours don't. Sorry for my bad grammar. Whatever. Next up, I'll be reviewing Doja Cat. Her 3 albums. That's gonna be fun. So, well, until the next video.